Hello everyone, and welcome to the first serious Loco is Lekker video. No, but today's topic is going to be a serious topic, a very debated topic, hotly debated in the world of South Africa, and I think there's going to be a lot of opinions thrown out there, there's going to be a lot of riff-raff, but I want you guys to know that this is the only true opinion, the one that matters, because I have done my research, I have done thorough thinking. No, we're going to make this as silly as possible, but also as technical as possible, because I went and put a lot of thought really into it in terms of a practical thing and how well it works stuff. But this is my ranking for the best South African snacks that is practical for gaming and all that. So I do need you to take into account it's more than just tastier and more than just preference. There's going to be a slight bias obviously for me, but I'm taking it in terms of like how the item like is practical for gaming. For example, can you still play while you're eating it? Does it affect your hands in terms of like, does it like make a stain on your hands that you need to go wash your hands first? Does it like waste? Because obviously if you're PC gaming and you're biting into something and there's just crumbs lying everywhere, I imagine you're not going to be very happy with those crumbs lying between your keyboard. So yeah, we are going to be technical about this and everything, but we have a clearly defined structure here and we're going to go through it now. So without further ado, welcome to my rankings for South African snacks for gaming. And we'll start with the bottom tier. It's chips. It's chips by far. There is no argument really for chips all that much. It's like you can like produce a lot of crumbs of it when you chew it and stuff, or it could just go everywhere. That mors, mensen, that mors. It goes everywhere. It stains your fingertips because then you can't use the controller or the keyboard and whatever really because you need to go wash your hands. And once the packet is open, technically you have to finish it. Now I'm not talking about just anything like, for example, when it comes to, let's say, cookies. Cookies have a safe housing you can put it into, or maybe like, for example, something smaller like, you know, whatever. Like, the thing is with chips is once you open it, air gets inside the bag and it spoils the chips. You kind of want to finish it early on. That's why automatically it's the lowest tier. It has a lot of problems when it comes to practicality. It might taste good, but it's just not worth it, and I can't put it high on this list. So that includes your Lays, your Doritos, your Simbas, whatever chips you're into. Yeah, it just goes low. Secondly on the list, slightly better but not quite there, is cookies. Yeah, cookies can't really get a pass for this either. It's also that mors, wastes. It doesn't stain as much your fingers, which is a good point. Some of them do. Like, for example, if you're a sweet tooth, unlike me, and you like your romery creams or something like that, that does slightly stain your fingers. But it's also a very, very wasteful cookie. Like, you bite into it, it just goes everywhere. So, not practical at all for when you're gaming, unless you're stuffing the whole thing in your mouth like that. On the salty side, you don't have as much the issue of wasting it because they're small enough so you can fit them in your mouth, but the salt comes off in your fingers. So that'll be like your mini cheddars, your salty cracks and stuff like that. Some of the ones I've marked here as slightly better are zoo cookies, which I have given a pass because they don't waste as much, if I recall correctly. It has been a while since I've eaten the animal/zoo cookies. And the cookie with the jam in the middle, I have no idea what it's called. And if you can refresh my memory, I'd appreciate that. But yeah, those two I've given a little bit of a slightly higher rating, just purely because of, well, they're slightly better, but they're still a cookie and they're not the greatest out there. Next on the list, we have chocolates. Now, chocolates, they are messy, they are slightly messy, and they can stain your fingers if you're not careful. But they have a crucial thing that cookies and chips do not have. They have a wrapper, and not just a wrapper to cover the chocolate. They have a wrapper that you can hold in your hand, or like safely keeping your hand away from the wastefulness or the messiness, and you can eat the chocolate like that. You still get some messy ones, but if you're going for like a Kit Kat and you eat carefully enough, or Cadbury or PS Bar or any of those, you should be fine. The crux in this for me lies in my preference. I don't prefer those ones all that much. I am more of a lunch bar guy.
Lunch bar. Obvious.
And if any of you have had a lunch bar before, you know that you're going to be covered in peanuts and chocolate by the time you're done. Not that I mind, but it's not practical for gaming at all. I've also marked one that's slightly better on this list, but it's purely because of their size. If you have seen those bags of Whispers or Tumblers, which is like the circular balls of chocolate, I give those a slightly better pass because they're just pop in your mouth. They're quite easy. They don't mess or anything. The only catch part is don't let it stain your hands. You need to be relatively quick with it or whatever to not have that. Then the second to last tier, which is technically these are the best sweets out there, the most practical. It's just the only reason they got knocked down a tiny bit is a lot of these sweets I don't have a preference for. So preference is, like I said, it's the smallest factor I used, but it's still the factor that pushed the last ones to the top edge. But let's go through the second tier list. So this is basically sweets that really have a texture that doesn't stain your fingers. It isn't messy. It's very practical and very easy to get through some of these. And in the long run, they don't actually, if you can actually leave the packet open, and they shouldn't have a problem with it being like that. But like I said, all of them have their little quirks and stuff, which just knocks them down a tiny bit. So let's go through them. Jelly Babies, I think, is the best out of this list. It's a sweet little alternative. It's quite easy because it's got a good texture. You pop it in your mouth, sweet Jelly Baby, good flavor, whatever. I'm not that fond of Jelly Babies, but I will give it a pass. Now, to be fairly distinguished, keep in mind something like a Jelly Tot will not be the same as a Jelly Baby, because the Jelly Tots usually have that sugar coating, and that sugar does make your fingers sticky, or the sugar does go and mess, which you do not want. So that one, like, you do have to make the distinction. So any of those sweets with the sugar coating is not really going to make it here. The second one I've got is wine gums. Now, wine gums also perfectly fine, but I think it's just like a lesser version of Jelly Babies. You have to chew more, there's less flavor. I don't really like wine gums, but I can understand its appeal and its practicality here, so I have given it a pass and put it here. Chappies, if you were small and you enjoyed all your lovely little chappies, you'd know how you can stuff your face full of those, because they cost like, well, pennies basically, and you can have so many of them. The only problem is they do lose flavor quite early on. That's just the crux of chappies, but I mean, cheap, good value, pop in your mouth, no texture problem, whatever, and yeah, you can have a good time while you're gaming. And it helps also with like focus and stuff for some people. And the other one on this list, I don't like it, but it is definitely is the Wilson Toffees. Now, I have to warn all of you out there, the young ones especially, if you think something like mewing or other exercises are going to help this like jawline of yours, try a Wilson Toffee, start chewing on that thing, and I promise you, you're going to have that Alpha Sigma jawline in no time at all. So yeah, that completes the second to best one. And now for the best one. Like I said, the best one is all about practicality. It's all about being able to eat it on the go while you're gaming. You don't have to stop gaming to eat it. And in general, taste, preference. It all comes down. It's the one that excels in all of them at the same time. So without further ado, this is my list. Now, I do have to point out I'm more of a salty person, not a sweet tooth, as I said. But this is my list. At the top of the top, I've got biltong and druivels. I don't have to explain this one. It's a delicious little treat. It's an awesome snack that South Africans love everywhere it can be. BS biltong, beef biltong, or game biltong, wild biltong, wild biltong, whatever it is, it's fantastic. It's a bite-sized, lovely piece of meat. It doesn't really stain your fingers. It's easy to eat on the go. And bag that it comes in, like that brown bag, you can literally just fold it up, put it back in the fridge. Nothing will happen to it. It's perfectly fine standing like that. But if you're not into meat or whatever like that, I do have an alternative that I also like a lot, that I used to snack a lot on as well, is the Safari peanuts and raisins. The peanuts and raisins ones that I have seen before, you know the pack one I'm talking about. That one's fantastic. It's a good mix of stuff like that, of a little bit of sweet, a little bit of salty, and fantastic just for quick chewing. Now, I have two snacks that I'm going to pull out my preference card, my bias card for, and it is this one. And I know it does break all the rules. It really does. Ladyfingers over here, because it's got the sugar, it's messy and all that. But I am a sucker for these. I promise you, you can probably bribe me with these. I am a huge sucker. You can eat them like this, or you can eat them in tea or whatever. And it's delicious. The second one is this one, the Soleo Snack Trail Mix. You know which one I'm talking about. It's like the one with like pretzel sticks and whatever in it. It's a lovely little salty mix. It does get salt slightly on the fingers, but it justifies all of that because of the lovely awesomeness of salt in your mouth and everything. So that's my tier list. Fight me, argue me, debate me in the comments, whatever you think. I'm well down to die on this hill of what I said. Oh, and if you're wondering about maybe the best drink, there is really no contest. It's Sterry Stumpy. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this silly little video of another local fun thing I thought of. And yeah, if you have any differing opinions, feel free to throw it down there. It's gonna be wrong, but I'll check it out for you. But until the next one, I hope you guys stay safe. Have a lekker time. We'll see each other soon.